Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. So today what I want to do is take apart this cable box. A lot of providers give you the option of buying the cable box outright or renting it. This was on the curb, so I assume the person bought it and has no more use for it. The nice thing about one of these cable boxes is there is a lot of recyclable material that come from it. The only waste is actually the front panel that is plastic. I could bring this into a scrap yard as is and get electronic price, but it is worth a lot more if I take the time and separate the materials, and that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to show you where the pieces are and how to maximize your profit. Now, one little thing, something like this, some electronics require a special kind of Allen key. They're security bolts. Okay, so some TVs have them, some of these boxes. And I just picked this up from Mastercraft, Canadian Tire. It's just a security L key set. The difference with this from Allen keys is there are little holes inside, and some of these bolts actually, they will have like a little pin that comes off out of the middle of the screw. So you would either, two options, you can buy a set like this, or if you could do like my dad does and just take a grinder and grind off the screws. Both work, okay, but like I said, this wasn't expensive and I use it all the time. So here we go. First thing, I'm going to cut the power cord. So the power cord in Canada, these appliance cords go for $1 a pound. This isn't a pound, but I put it in a bag and they add up. It also has 2 coated brass prongs. Some people leave those on there for the weight. Some people take them off and put them into their coated brass bucket. I do that. I separate them. And so here we go. That's the first thing. I've already, for the sake of this video, taken the screws out of the exterior for the sake of time. This top is metal. Okay, so this is just going to go into my steel bin. Okay, I'm going to put my safety glasses on, and I'm going to just show you quickly some of the goodies in there. So there's a nice circuit board right here. There's a circuit board on the side. There's with a transformer. There's a spool of copper there. There's a nice circuit board here with a couple tips of gold on it. So I'm going to take it apart and show you the pieces. Okay, going to take out the last screw. Again, I'm going to use my set. I have to put it in there, get out the last screw with the... So this piece is actually aluminum. Okay, if I put a magnet to it, it's part of an aluminum heat sink. So, and it's a nice weight. Canada clean aluminum goes for about 40 cents a pound, so I just store these up with my heat sink. Okay, there is a frame around this. There are a lot of little cords that come out of this. Okay, now this circuit board underneath, this is actually like a CD drive. There is aluminum around this. Okay, and what's special about this little circuit board box is the little prongs here are actually gold tipped, so you can just see them in the video here. So what I actually do with these, because I don't get great price for my circuit boards, some places will separate them, classify them as low grade, medium grade, high grade. At my scrap yard, they're all put in as one. So you want to check with your scrap yard. So what I do is, anytime I have nice spools of copper on it, or some silver contacts, or gold like this, I'll actually break those off and I will separate and put them in a little container, and maybe one day I can extract the gold from it. Okay, but nice piece of metal. As I said, this box is cast aluminum. It's very difficult to get off because there's glue on it. There are some bolts that I need to take out to get this circuit board out if I want to. I think I'm just going to leave this as is. I can take the outer shell off with a pry bar, but there is glue, okay, and I'm going to do that on a different video because there are little bolts. So I'm actually probably just going to throw this into my e-waste bin. But I am going to take the time, just quickly get some pliers, or even a screwdriver would work, just to pop the plastic off to show you the teeth. Okay, so just peel that back and you can see inside you've got some of the nice gold teeth. Okay, so I think it's worth it, just in case, whatever the price of gold. Okay, and all I do is just pop it up. Hopefully this top breaks off. There we go. And it is glued on, but I will take just this piece and I will cut it with a knife and I will just separate this, put it in my gold bin. All right, so I'm going to also take the plastic off. Got a couple connectors in the bottom. So of this box, this is the only piece of plastic. That's the only piece of garbage. So unfortunately that's going into landfill, but that's it. Okay, so figure out how I want to get at this. There's a couple bolts. So very simple. Just gonna cut the wire here. I'm gonna show you this circuit board. So here's a nice aluminum heat sink that I'm gonna take off. The transformer, this transformer, I'm actually just gonna rip it off and I'm gonna put it into my transformer bin. I do have a nice video on when to separate the copper from transformers, when not to. If I look at this transformer, let me get it off here, pry it off. This transformer, if I look inside, has a lot of paper, okay? And there is a separate category at scrapyards for transformers. This one is surrounded by steel. Okay, but there is not a lot of copper in here. So what I do is these types of transformers, I will just throw in a bag and I will get transformer price for. It's about 10 cents a pound, okay? So it is pretty heavy for the size. If you're interested in looking at the types of transformers, I do have a video on that, so go check that out. There are some that are really, really nice with loads of copper on it, and I will definitely take the time to do that. I also have this spool, okay? And because this is lower grade e-waste, I'm not gonna get a lot of price for this in terms of pound. I think it's something like 2 cents a pound. You got a couple copper spools right here that are just coated with plastic. I'm gonna leave those on there because there's not a lot of copper on those and it does add to the weight, but I am gonna take this one off just to show you. And I just used my finger on that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a hammer and just open this box. Okay, so now I have a couple little spools of copper. All I do is actually just unravel it. It comes off very easily. It's just rolled. Okay, I'm not gonna roll the whole thing for you, but as you can see, it adds up. I throw it into a bag, and all my loose copper like this, I throw it into a number 2 bin because it's small, and as you can see, this is just a bag, another bag I started. It adds up, and number 2 copper right now goes for about $1.60 a pound, so I'm gonna get more when I separate it for the copper content and the aluminum heat sink than I would for, you know, the whole electronic. So, lastly, this kind of wire is low-grade wire, okay? And this is too. The reason we classify this as low-grade wire is because there's not a lot of copper inside. There's a lot of plastic, but it's not the same copper content as your appliance cord. So when you go to a scrapyard, you want to make sure you separate those, because if you don't, you're going to get lower grade price, okay? So you're going to lose out. Last thing, as you can see here, here's a circuit board. It's just attached by a couple screws that I will take out. This box is metal, but I will open it for this video to show you what's inside. Usually there's some coils. There's a lot of pins that I have to open and turn to get to this. So, takes a couple seconds, but it's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick hammer and a screwdriver to pop the top off. Is metal, unfortunately. Okay, inside, there's not much in here, but there is a small little silver oscillator right there, and I take that off and I'll put it into my silver bin. But the rest of this circuit board, there's a little bit of gold here, but it's very, very little. I'm just gonna take this circuit board off after I take the screws out and put it into my e-waste. Okay, but the nice thing, as I said, with that box, the only waste is this little plastic panel. Okay, so just to recap, a lot of nice circuit boards, some copper from the spool, transformer, I got some low-grade copper wire, I've got my appliance cord, a lot of metal, okay, and another electronic diverted from the landfill. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment down below, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Tin Man out.